Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Kellie's Bead Boutique. So my mom happened to stop by the store recently and she was looking around and she found some of our jewelry cleaning products and she asked, well, how do I use these? And it got me to thinking, well, if my mom doesn't know how to clean jewelry, then I bet you there's a lot of you that don't know how to clean jewelry. So I've got a few different tried and true methods that I'm going to show you, one being my favorite, and then at the end I've got a few other options that I think you're going to really like. So if you want to see how I clean my jewelry, come and join me. All right, so the things I'm going to need today are, I've got a baking pan. You can use any kind of a pan that you have. This just happens to be a metal one. And you want to put some tin foil inside the pan, and you want to make sure that you've got the shiny side up. That's really, really important. And then you can see inside here I have all kinds of various bits and bops of, there's findings, like my barrel knot tube that was left out and it's gone all kind of tarnished. Doesn't really make any difference, but I just don't like the way that it looks. And then I have a pair of earrings that came from my own jewelry collection that I made in my jewelry line probably 15 years ago. And I found this morning, and that is really super tarnished, so I'm going to see how those come out. I've got all kinds of things in here. So you can use copper, sterling silver, a silver plate. You just have to be careful about your stones. These are, this is black onyx, so it's probably fine. And then I've got some glass here that is a little dangerous because it could crack, but I'm not really invested in these earrings. I just wanted to see how they came up. This is Turkish silver on here that is absolutely gorgeous, and it really just looks sad now. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'm trying to do this sideways, which is a little bit odd for me. So anyway, you can do anything in here, but if you're going to be using pearls or any porous kind of stones, what I used to do when I would clean my jewelry is I would kind of tuck the stones up in a corner here that wasn't going to get any of the baking soda on it. Because porous stones do not like this method. So really it's best just to be doing silver or copper. The other thing is I don't like to mix my copper and my silver together when I'm doing this. So if I'm going to clean a whole pile of copper, I will do that separately. I will change this whole thing out and do a separate silver and a separate copper. Those two metals don't seem to like each other when it comes to doing these kind of processes. The other thing that I have is some nice fresh baking soda. And I have a kettle that has boiled here. I'm going to reboil it so that it's nice and steamy hot. And I have a pair of tongs just to kind of swish things around, and a nice clean towel. So let's get started. All right, so it's really important that you use boiling hot water. I know it seems a little strange to pour boiling hot water on your jewelry or on your findings and things like that, but it's really important that it's boiling right out of the kettle. So I had sort of pre-done that. And now I'm going to take a few tablespoons of baking soda and I'm going to place it on here, and you'll watch it all kind of fizz up. And the more that you use, kind of the better it is. So I don't measure it, I just kind of dump it in here. And the combination of the boiling water and the baking soda creates some kind of a chemical reaction. You know, I'm not a scientist, I just make great jewelry. But it really does clean it off. So I'm just going to kind of tidy up here for a second while it does its thing, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this has literally been in there for about 30 seconds, and I can already see most of the tarnish come off the pieces. It smells like rotten eggs, which is exactly what it should smell like. You can give it a little stir around if you want to sort of reactivate it just a little bit, but I can see that it's kind of done its thing. You'll see little chunks of things floating in there, crud that's kind of been stuck inside the jewelry, I guess. It looks like most things have kind of come pretty clean. There's a couple things that aren't super clean in here. Now this won't work on absolutely everything, and some things you'll have to leave a little bit longer. But I can see that most of the charms, I'm just going to open up these tongs. I see that most of these charms, this one was black, and it looks pretty good. All the silver plated stuff has come up. There's a couple of the little bead caps and things that aren't looking great, but you know, it doesn't work on absolutely everything. So it's one of those hit and miss, and sometimes I've had to do things twice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strainer. Oh, I guess I forgot to mention that I have a little mesh strainer, and I don't know that I can really do this on camera because of the steam and all the rest of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump all of this into the strainer and run it under cold water because I want to rinse this off really, really well. because you've got to get all that baking soda off. And if it hasn't worked the way that you want it to, what you can do is you can take this all out, dump it out. You don't need to clean it off. And you can take another fresh piece of tin foil, more baking soda, and more hot water, and it should have done exactly what you want. But I can see that it's mostly cleaned off things that I was hoping that it would. So let me rinse this off, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so there's all my little bits of jewelry, and I'm really impressed with the way that it came clean. Now, these are still wet, so it's hard to tell, but if I dry them off, you can see that tube that was completely blackened. It now looks nice and clean. And these earrings were just a disaster. They were so dirty, and they've come up really nice and clean, and the crystal's perfectly fine. And this pair of earrings that I had that were really bad, they look pretty good. I mean, they're not perfect, but these have been sitting there probably for, I don't know, I probably haven't worn them for 10 years. And so that's a lot of tarnish that's on there. So, I'm pretty impressed with that. What I'm really impressed with is the tiara cast. Look at how beautiful it came up. I actually thought that I was going to have to throw these out because they were black and yellow and really kind of disgusting. And these look fabulous. Same with this. These ones were really, really bad because these have lots of little grooves in them. And this is one of my favorite little tiara cast buttons. And these were horrible, and these look pretty darn good. So I think you should give this a try when you're trying to clean your jewelry. Give this method a try. It's completely earth friendly. It can go right down the sink. It doesn't cause any problems. Just make sure that it's really, really well rinsed off. I've actually rinsed this off twice. The first time I dumped it out, I felt like it had a little bit of a grit on it, but now it feels perfectly fine. So give this one a try. I think you're going to really like how your jewelry turns out, and it's pretty easy to do. So I wanted to show you some other options when it comes to cleaning your jewelry. So one of the things that we like to use for cleaning in the store is this sunshine polishing cloth. So they've taken some sort of special solution, and it's been permeated into this cloth, and it's got kind of like a little bit of a gritty feel. And this is what we use to clean almost everything. It really takes off all the tarnish. It does not like plating so much. So if you're using, if you've got like silver plated stuff, you can use it, but you have to be really careful that you don't remove all the plating. So what you do is you just rub it in there. You will get this completely black, but it will last you years. You're going to keep using it until it's black on both sides, and then you're just going to toss it out. It is not something that's reusable. It's $7.99, and I will make sure to put a link to these products in my description box below. But this one is probably the thing that we use the most. You can also use this on your silverware and things like that. Oh, and I forgot to mention, that's how I clean my silverware at Christmas time, because I don't use my silverware any time of the year other than perhaps Christmas. So I actually take that foil method that I was using. I line my entire sink with it. With all the tin foil, I put all my silverware inside there, and I dump multiple pots of hot boiling water on there, and a ton of baking soda. So it's actually a great method for cleaning other silver things. But anyway, so you can use this on your silver flatware, and it's really good on gold, silver, brass, and copper. So that is a really great little product. So the other thing that I absolutely love are these Shine Right polishing pads. And back when I had my jewelry line, I did a lot of impressions and stamping and things like that. And these were a godsend. So if you put an impression in and then you put some patina in there so that it creates that little bit of black inside it, these are really, really great for polishing the top. There's a whole little blurbage on the back, but these have been a pre-treated 2-inch square made from a tight bond cellular foam, and it's got like a micro abrasive in there. So, and again, you use this until it's completely black on both sides, and they're only $5 for 10 of them, which is a really great bargain because even though that's small, that will last you forever. So it's really great if you maybe you're doing like a balled up head pin in a torch and you want to just quickly take off a bit of the fire scale on there or whatever, just use this. If you just want to add a little quick buff to something, use this. We love this product and use it all the time. I cannot tell you how invaluable this Shine Right polishing pad is. So again, those are only $5 for 10 pads. And the last thing that we have to help keep your jewelry nice and bright and shiny are these anti-tarnish tabs. And these are really, really cool. So they work for gold, silver, brass, copper, bronze, and tin. And what they are is just little tiny squares. They're about an inch square. And I'm not exactly sure what they have in them, but if you place this with your jewelry, you can actually, it helps absorb any of the moistures and things in there that will help, that will tarnish your jewelry or whatever you're using it for, and it will actually stop them from tarnishing, and they absolutely work. So I always say, if you're wanting not to have any tarnish on your jewelry, to put it in a little bag. Like what women tend to do is get these fancy little holders, and then they hang their jewelry, and then it gets all tarnished. And that's just, I never do that. I've always got mine tucked away. So put it in a little bag and put one of these little anti-tarnish strips in there, and you'll find that your jewelry will stay nice and bright and shiny. It's also good for keeping your metals shiny, because, you know, like if you leave your sterling silver wire in a bag, it will start to kind of dull down. And if you want to keep it that nice, bright, shiny silver, you can use these anti-tarnish strips. Now, a little known fact is that for many, many years, I played the bagpipes. I know it's kind of a crazy thing. But bagpipes often have sterling silver around the rims of the drones. And so a lot of people that play bagpipes or maybe clarinets, things like that, anything that's got like a metal piece on there, they use these. You can throw a bunch of them in your musical case, and it will help keep your instruments from tarnishing too. So these have many, many different applications, and they're absolutely brilliant. And these are $7.99, and you get 50 tabs. And I find that they probably last, I don't know, maybe 6 months, a year, something like that. I've never really timed it. I just kind of throw some in, and then when I think about it, I take them out and throw them back, some new ones in there. So this is a really great thing to have in your arsenal too, for helping to keep your jewelry nice and clean. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit of something different, but I think it's something that everybody needs to know how to do. So if you did enjoy it, please make sure to give me a like, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from everybody. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please make sure that you do so. And look at that little bell that's next to the subscribe button, and make sure you press that and get all notifications. And that will tell you when I have a new video that's out. I want to thank each and every one of you that drops by weekly to say hi to me and watch my videos. I really do appreciate you so much. I want to thank you again for watching, and we will see you on the next one.